Balake, where is Balake at?
My name's Blake.
Do you want to go to war, Balake? I'm for real. Ron.
Ron is here, everyone. Look, once again, I forgot to put our name tags up. Let me fix that problem. Ron is here. Zach Morgan is here. How you doing, man?
I'm good. We've been trying to get this done for like 2 weeks, and we finally got around to it.
Absolutely. Let me not forget to cover our bases right here in the beginning. If you're not yet subscribed to my lawyer friend, Zach, jump over and find him on YouTube. His channel is called Your Lawyer Friend, Zach. You're kicking butt over there, man.
Well, huge thanks to all of your supporters who came over, pushed us over 10,000. We got part 1 of the fundraiser done last week, so I think we're probably gonna try to do part 2 this weekend, but we'll see.
That is fantastic. How much did you guys raise?
Close to $1,000, which is pretty good considering you're at 200,000 and I'm at 10,000. So I'll take $1,000 towards pregnancy and infant loss awareness all day.
That is absolutely fantastic. Well, guys, here's the document we're here to discuss today. This is in the lawsuit Leah Remini versus David Miscavige, Church of Scientology International, Inc. and Religious Technology Center, Inc. Defendants, Church of Scientology International and Religious Technology Centers. Actually, can you read this for me?
Yeah, sure. So it's defendants, Church of Scientology International and RTC's ex parte application to file consolidated memorandum. So the rest of it doesn't matter. It's just descriptors. So essentially, this is a request by the defendants to file essentially an oversized brief. The rules allow for 15 pages. They want to do 30 pages. Leah Remini's attorneys offered 20 pages. And so you have to get the court's permission.
Now, real quick, Zach, just can you move the microphone a few inches away from your face?
Yeah, for sure. Is that better?
Good. Yeah, you're a loud gentleman.
That's true.
Let's leave it right there. You're good. You're good. Now on my channel, I titled this video, Scientology will not be able to force Leah Remini into arbitration. On your channel, this video is called Scientology trying to use anti-SLAPP to derail Leah Remini's lawsuit. I thought it would be interesting to point out to people, because I've had some conversations with some folks who didn't understand why Scientology was going this route, to this anti-SLAPP route, instead of trying to force her into arbitration. They cannot force her into arbitration on this lawsuit because it pertains to activity that has occurred after Leah Remini left Scientology. So
Correct.
She's totally free and clear of that hurdle.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
Okay, so explain what's happening with this special memorandum and the anti-SLAPP and what all that means.
Sure. So the pleading we just looked at was basically a request for the court to grant them an oversized brief. It's super common for that to happen, especially when you have as many complicated issues. But the underlying issue is called anti-SLAPP. And it is, I want to make sure I read exactly what it's called correctly. It is strategic lawsuit against public participation. And so essentially, a lot of states, including California, have adopted a provision that says we are going to dismiss a case if you sue somebody for speech or actions that are protected by the First Amendment. Because essentially, when you sue somebody for defamation, you're asking the court, which is a governmental body, to interpret and penalize you for what you said. And the First Amendment generally protects against that. So it's a newly created thing. In a lot of states, there's 33 states plus Washington, D.C. And so it sounds in, or it's based in defamation. And Leah has, I think, 310 paragraphs roughly in her complaint that started this lawsuit, the allegations. While most of those do sound in defamation, untrue statements to the media, trying to interfere with business relations based on, making things up and making untrue statements about Leah. The problem is, although she did plead defamation, she raised bigger issues like harassment and stalking. So even if the defamation claims were to get kicked, and in my opinion, they won't be, they'll stay, because anti-SLAPP is sort of all or nothing. The lawsuit is not just based on defamation. It's based on harassment. It's based on stalking. It's based on interference with Leah's businesses, both her entertainment businesses and some other holdings that she has, but her Hollywood and her non-Hollywood stuff. Those actions, even though they're based in statements that the entities made, it's greater than just you hurt my feelings or made an untrue statement. Now you are violating civil law by interfering with my ability to conduct my life. It's more than just making untrue statements. So that's what anti-SLAPP is based in. And it's really the church's only legitimate attempt at getting this case kicked, getting it dismissed. I don't think it's going to win, in my opinion.
Let me ask you this. My general understanding of the anti-SLAPP legislation is that it's basically, it was conceived to prevent giant corporations from just blatantly harassing smaller entities, individuals who are clearly just exercising their First Amendment right to free speech. And yet a deep-pocketed organization is basically going to litigate and harass this person into silence, and that this legislation was designed to prevent big organizations from using the courts to silence individuals. It's like a David and Goliath situation.
Exactly.
And that for Scientology to try to file this against Leah is almost like them going, oh no, this big giant Leah Remini is picking on us, and all we're doing, is there a power dynamic in play with respect to this legislation?
Yeah, so you're exactly right. The history of it was designed to stop companies with basically bottomless bank accounts from suing mom and pop organizations into oblivion. I'm going to settle this lawsuit because I can't afford to keep paying the lawyer. Meanwhile, this corporation has 50 staff attorneys and they're filing a pleading every day. And you're paying the local attorney who's a one-man show with a part-time paralegal who can't keep up with the workflow. Or you hire a big law firm that you can't afford. Those are sort of the two extremes. The church has tried to flip this on its head. Oh, look at this big, scary, famous person attack. No, so the legislation doesn't specifically prohibit that. And to the credit of the lawyers, if they can come up with a legitimate argument, I mean, they have an ethical obligation to do everything they can that's in the best interest of their clients. And sometimes you have to do something, even though you're going to lose, you have to do it to show we exhausted everything we could and we still got our butt whooped. And sometimes that's the nature of the legal system.
Right. Is Scientology essentially saying it is our First Amendment right to lie about you and slander you and harass you? Is that kind of how this would have to be interpreted by the courts, or is there something else?
Yes. So essentially, Scientology saying, oh, even if what we said was untrue, we didn't know it was untrue. This is the New York Times versus Sullivan standard. The actual malice for public figures is the added element to defamation, right? Oh, well, even if what we said wasn't true, we thought it was. Well, Leah's a public figure, so the burden's a little higher. She has to show actual malice, but I think she's able to prove that because she's going to have the testimony, and the affidavits of hundreds of witnesses, victims, people who have suffered. I mean, you went on, your life changed significantly after you went on Scientology in the aftermath. Everybody who went on that show has a website against them now, right? You didn't have to do that.
Yeah, it seems like it would be easy to prove malice when it comes to Scientology, but
yeah, that's gonna be, in my opinion, well, normally that's the hardest thing to prove. It's going to be, I think, in my opinion, fairly easy to prove because to a fault, the organization says write everything down and put it in filing cabinets, so the documents exist, and there are enough people on the outside or who are spying on the inside to get to, that are giving documents to people on the outside. And you know this probably better than anybody. There are folks on the inside leaking material that as soon as the organization says that record doesn't exist, somebody on the inside will produce that record, and the church is in for a world of hurt when that happens. It's not if, it's when. And you and I both know that.
Right. I wonder if the malice, I wonder if this is related, because we do have a bunch of inside sources telling us what Scientology is telling its members internally in the aftermath of the Danny Masterson conviction, that this is all orchestrated by Leah Remini. Like, even on something that's totally unrelated to her, right, they're still trying to tarnish her reputation with this. It's going to be appealed. He's going to win on appeal. Anyway, I know that doesn't have anything to do with Leah's actual lawsuit here, but
no, but I will say, and if I'm Leah's lawyers, and don't get me wrong, they're a whole lot smarter than I am. I'm just a good old hillbilly from the state of Oklahoma, and those guys are a whole lot smarter than I am. I can promise you that. But if that evidence, in my opinion, that evidence would actually be admissible to show history of bad acts. Remember the whole prior bad acts witness thing, right? In the Masterson case, same thing. If I can show a pattern of behavior even if it's not directly related to my case, that can still come in. And if they continue to pursue and push false narratives, that's absolutely admissible in my opinion.
Interesting. Yeah, there are definitely some Sea Org members fresh out of the Sea Org who can attest to the fact that management is basically blaming everything on Leah Remini. That Leah Remini is a hated, hated, hated figure in Scientology. And you go, really? Because she was loved right up until the day that she left. So what are you guys telling everyone to get everyone to hate Leah Remini, you know?
Yeah. In fact, they did everything they could to not allow her to leave. Right. I mean, other than write her a giant check to shut her up. And that's because of her success on the outside, they couldn't afford a big enough check to shut her up.
Right.
She didn't need the money. Unfortunately, you know, or people, just average Joe people who try to leave, they can write a big enough check to shut them up. But people who have success on the outside that aren't relying upon the organization, they don't need the money. And that's what makes her lawsuit, in my opinion, so much different than all the other lawsuits that settle before they go to trial. She can afford to not settle. Her ability to survive is not dependent upon the settlement money.
Right.
And for a lot of people, it is.
Awesome. All right. Well, this is a relatively short and sweet one, but I just wanted to get it on the record what Scientology was trying to do here, what they're going to try to do, what they're not able to do. The arbitration thing is not even a factor in this case, which is very, very interesting and scary to Scientology, if you ask me.
Right.
Because that's usually their go-to move. Dave Owen says in California, land developers tried to sue folks who protested planned developments, claiming they were defaming them. It was a blatant attempt to cause fear.
Yeah, and this is exactly what anti-SLAPP was put in place to do, right? To stop the people who have a bottomless litigation budget from suing everybody who can't afford decent representation, to sue them either into oblivion or force them to drop or force them to settle. And that's that's the reality of it. So that's what anti-SLAPP was designed to do, and it has its place, but its place is not in this circumstance. But you know, you do, if I'm the lawyers for the church, I have to make this argument or I'm not doing my job. And I know I'm not going to win on it. And you know what? They're going to pay the bill. So I'm going to bill the crap out of the file while I can.
Right. Okay. Before we wrap up here, there's something that I want to share with all of the viewers about an event that's happening this Saturday in Los Angeles. Let me get this set up to share properly here. Guys, this is the Instagram account called Eat Predators. Okay. And let me, Alexa Nicholas is an actress who is the one behind this account. And she is organizing let me get our faces out of the way here. A protest outside of the Celebrity Center in Hollywood, California. This is the date, October 21st, the time 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. I was going to be at this personally. I'm not going to be able to make it there. Saturday, right? That's Saturday, October 20th. But I am going to be promoting the live streams of the people who are there in person. And let me see. Alexis sent me a text earlier today that says, if anyone is planning on going, please, you can RSVP to her on Instagram. I'm assuming the messages are open. And it says they're going to give out prints of the protest signs to the first 10 people that arrive as a sweet gift for coming and standing with everyone. There will be a whole bunch of special guests that I'm not going to announce right now, but I told her I would promote this and I would encourage anyone. Oh, did I say Alexa? I have her saved as Alexa in my contacts. Is it Alex?
No, I think it's somebody probably has an Amazon device that every time you say that, the Amazon device is popping off in the house. Oh. I think is probably what's happening.
Oh my God. All right. Well, anywhere near Hollywood, I encourage you to show up. You don't have to go for the whole thing. You could even go for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and everyone would greatly appreciate that. All right. Anything else, Zach?
I don't think so. There's a few more things when we get some more time that we'll cover. Some questions you've asked me, I've done some research on, but we'll find time to get that in.
Cool, guys. In about 20 minutes, Reese and I are going to go live with a little more quiz game fun. So join us for that. As always, thank you for hanging out with us this evening. Thank you to everyone who watches until the very end, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe